Time now for a check of the top business news stories. I'm joined by our business editor, Kate Moody. Hi there, Kate. As the EU summit kicks off this evening, member states still in a bit of a stalemate, aren't they, over the bloc's budget, and that includes the Coronavirus Relief Fund. Tell us a bit more.
What we've been hearing from the head of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, really trying to cut through the political posturing that we've been hearing on both sides there in Brussels. She said that member states really need to overcome their disagreements and open the tap of this 750 billion euro recovery fund. It was agreed last July, but has yet to be activated. Now, the European Central Bank itself has forecast that the Eurozone economy will shrink by about 8% this year. Things could get even worse as countries increase and tighten their restrictions. The ECB has eased lending conditions and ramped up its emergency bond buying measures. It could announce more measures at its next policy meeting this December. But that is not enough, according to Lagarde, when she was speaking to EU lawmakers ahead of this crucial EU summit this Thursday. Take a listen.
The next generation EU package must become operational without delay. Overall, the euro area economy is expected to be severely affected by the fallout from the rapid increase in infections and the reinstatement of containment measures, posing a clear downside risk to the near-term economic outlook.
Okay, Christine Lagarde speaking there. Well, Kate, just remind us a little bit more about what's at stake here. What does that pandemic recovery fund really entail?
Well, it's 750 billion euros to be raised on public markets by the bloc as a whole and then distributed to individual member states. It's going to be divided into a mix of grants, which don't have to be paid back, and low interest loans. Each country has to submit a detailed plan outlining how the funds will be used to protect businesses and households from the effects of the pandemic. And the money was scheduled to begin being handed out this January. The hardest hit countries we know have been lobbying to receive more grants than loans. And remember, that breakdown of grants versus loans had led to another stalemate among EU member states over the summer, pitting more heavily indebted member states against wealthier nations. Now, of course, it's Hungary and Poland that are holding up this final agreement over a different dispute related to the rule of law provision in that broader 1.8 trillion euro budget. Both countries would be in line to receive billions of euros of emergency coronavirus aid. Some people have floated the possibility that this recovery package could maybe be separated from the rest of the EU budget and pushed through quickly now, but it would really only be a very, very short-term solution because the bloc does need to approve its spending plans by January 1st.
Watershed moment for Brexit negotiations. Where do the UK and the EU stand on that possible trade deal we've all been talking about?
Well, Brexit has really been overshadowed by this internal EU budget debate, although we are, of course, approaching that December 31st deadline, which will end the UK's transition period out of the European Union. Now, the high-level trade talks were briefly suspended this afternoon after a member of the European negotiating team tested positive for COVID-19, although, of course, the work never stops, even if it is socially distanced. Now, after months or years, really, of back and forth, we still have three main areas of disagreement. Fishing rights, the amount of state aid that can be given to companies, and the governance and arbitration mechanism which would oversee any agreement. Now, Brussels had really hoped to have a deal in place by this summit because the process of ratifying any agreement will take time. Businesses, of course, also need time to adapt and get their new procedures in place. Practically speaking, they need to know if and how they're going to be able to do trade on the other side of the channel. Remember that regardless of whether or not a trade deal is indeed reached, the UK will no longer be part of the EU's single market and customs union come January 1st. So the two sides are really coming down to the wire here.
Okay, thank you very much indeed for that business update. Kate Moody, thank you so much.